Hey, what's up?
All your favorite artists.
Check it out. Say my name.
DJ Khaled.
This is Mila J.
Bruno Mars.
On hot7025fm.com.
It's your main man, 360 the Poet from the Morning Wood. And are you looking for the perfect drink? Well, you found it. Mimosa Royale is the perfect combination of California sparkling white wine and natural juice that is both tasty and refreshing. No artificial colors or flavors, no sugar added, and it's gluten-free. As the world's first ready-to-drink mimosa, Mimosa Royale is perfect for any occasion, day or night. You no longer have to drink 12 of those seltzers just to get that perfect buzz. At 8% alcohol, Mimosa Royale is the perfect drink to party with. Offered in a variety of flavors and sizes, you are bound to find a Mimosa Royale that you'll love. We have berry, mango, apple, and orange, with more flavors to come. Mimosa Royale is the most award-winning flavored wine that serves in bottles or cans. You can find them online at drinkmimosa.com or find them at your local liquor store. Ask for it by name. Mimosa Royale.
Keep your radio dial right here. You're locked into the hottest news station on the planet. Hot 702.5 in FM sound. Blazing today's hip-hop, R&B, and pop music. Keeping your radio on fire. Bringing you the hottest, realest, riskiest talk shows live 24/7. Live on hot7025fm.com.
What's going on, everybody? It's your main man, 360 the Poet from the Morning Wood, and I'm here to talk to you about the Sci-Fi Center. It's your Vegas home for science fiction, horror, and fantasy. From comic books, toys, and posters to movie screenings and live events, they've got you covered. Located at 900 Cameron Avenue, Suite B209, give them a call, 702-900-4335, or reach them at thescificenter.com.
What up? What it do, baby? We back at it like an addict. Yeah, we are. We back in this thing and like a wedgie, baby. It's hump day. Time to holla at the homie every single Wednesday right here on hot7025fm.com or on my Instagram live or my Facebook live. So y'all out there right now, what y'all doing out there and what y'all doing and where y'all at while y'all doing it? Y'all tune in and tap in, chime in with me. I'm going to ask my engineer to get me my screen over here so I can see who else tuning in with me on the other side of things, and we'll get that rocking and rolling for y'all. How y'all been, man? I ain't seen y'all in a couple of weeks. What's going on? Julius Foley, the realtor, down there locking it down. If you need a house anywhere down in Alabama, down in Tennessee, and in Georgia, I think he licensed in all three of them connecting states. So Julius Foley down there, the realtor. What's happening with you, baby? I know I'm going to see you in D.C. in October. I can't wait. I know I can't wait. We're going to be up there for Howard versus the Tennessee State University. You know what I'm saying? It's their homecoming, but we trying to make it our home up there in Chocolate City, baby. But what y'all doing, man? We in this thing. We here. We back. It's Holla at the Homie Wednesday, and we got a good one for y'all today on Slate. You know, it all deals with how people raised and what happened to you. Oh, you know it, baby. Anytime, and for the plug, you know I got you back like a Tupac tag. What's up, Hort? Hey, dog, it's good to see you at that meeting yesterday, man, in your real element, bro. In your real element. I love to see, you know, when you have work meetings and you get to see people not only like outside they work clothes, you know what I mean? You got to wear, you know, clothes that are associated with work, but then you also get a chance to see how they are, like especially if it's early in the morning. Then you get a chance to see how people just move and operate, like when the birds are still first chirping. And so it's just a good thing if you're a people watcher. You get a chance to see that dynamic with a whole bunch of other folks. And yesterday we had one of those at the gig, and I said some things, and they started calling me. They said make our job great again is what they say by the end of the day. Anyway, but we out here talking about a question about how people were raised and how you were brought up and dealing with how you handle situations that may be a little bit different than you anticipated them unfolding, right? So what I'm going to talk about today is I got a letter. What's going on? What's going on, Steph? Good to see you, home girl. Long time. L.A., stand up, man. That's what I'm talking. Oh, speaking of L.A., man, I know everybody talking about this Olympics and everything that's going to be out there in 2028. I know it ain't going to be no break dancing, but we talked about earlier on the Morning Wood, Dr. Dre actually trying, he said he's trying out for archery. I don't know if it's an age limit on archery. I know it's an age limit on certain events that you cannot be a certain age if you're trying to participate in some events, but I think archery is not one of them, because I did see some people that are seniors that were out there participating in at least the air gun shooting. So big ups to Dr. Dre. But anybody that's going to be near LA in 2028, I ain't going to be there. I ain't going to be here in Vegas. I ain't going to be nowhere near where somebody can pop up. What up, Dakarai? Somebody can pop up and say, we here for the Olympics for 2 weeks. Nah, bro, it's too much going on. But anyway, we're talking about how people were raised and how you talk to people of a certain age and a certain status and stuff like that. Let me see. So we're going to dive straight into this letter. We got a letter from a gentleman that calls himself Not So Sorry. He said, I've got a situation, dear Holla at the homie, that's been on my mind, and I'm hoping you can help me figure out what to do, if anything. Recently, I had an encounter with an older guy that really got under my skin. Now, this dude said something snarky. Now, I never use that word in life, so I had to really kind of dig into that. This dude said something snarky and out of pocket to me, something that felt downright disrespectful. Without thinking twice, I fired back with some pretty foul language. To be honest, I let him have it, and I'm not sorry about it. But here's the thing. I'm not exactly losing sleep over it, but what's up, Kumilio? What's up with you there, Lucy Lowe? I'm not exactly losing sleep over it, but I was raised to respect my elders, and I'm wondering if I should be losing sleep. Just because someone's older doesn't mean that they can treat me any kind of way, right? But then again, I wonder if I went too far by cussing him out. Should I feel bad about how I handled it, or was I justified in defending myself, even if I wasn't exactly the most polite way to do it? Anyway, any type of advice would be appreciated. So sincerely, Not So Sorry. Now, I'm looking at this type of letter as something that captures like how you deal with conflict and feeling justified whenever having questions about some things, or somebody treating you a certain way, or you don't feel appropriate, or, it leaves room for some navigation dealing with respect, right? But the first things first, welcome back, and this is what we do, and we talk about these type of situations when people are dealing with how to get from one point to another when they faced with a situation in their mind. So here's the deal. Not so sorry. You had a run-in with an older guy, right? So now, he may have threw some shade your way. You said he said something snarky, so I'm going to say that's like he throwing shade your way. He may have said something smart alecky. Like, for instance, we were just talking about a little earlier how it was a guy that just punched an older guy in the face for running into his wife. This was in 2023, but he punched the guy in the face for running into his wife with a bike and then hitting her with the N-word. You know what I mean? So he punched him, and result, the dude ended up dying. So at least you didn't get physical with the dude. So let's start there. So you did leave some room for improvement, but you did also leave some room to say, I kind of held myself at a reserve, right? So, he threw some shade your way. Now, you didn't like it, and so the fact that you didn't like it, what's up, Ty Bug? The fact that you didn't like it, you clap back. You know what I mean? With some pretty strong language, or as you put it, you let him have it, right? So how should you feel about this? Here's the twist, right? You're not feeling any guilt about it, but you're wondering if maybe you should. And so a lot of people may be questioning themselves, like, what would they do in this situation? So I'll break it down. What up, Young Stitch? I'll break it down to the point where how I would handle it if I were in this situation. Again, I always give my disclaimer. What'd you say, Dakar? He said, no one is above reproach, but I was raised to respect my, exactly. What up, Sapphire Gardner? What up, though? And that's the thing, like, when it comes to like your elders and stuff like that, you gotta kind of be able to, put yourself in a position to where the decision being made is the one best for not only them, but also for you and how you'll feel later on about it, right? It's the first thing is like, it's respect versus self-respect, and that's always a big thing. Like you want to give people they just due, and you want to make sure you respect your elders, but you also don't want to sell yourself short either. That's always a big thing. Like, I'm not just going to let them win and me feel like I'm a piece of trash, and that's the thing about it. You don't want to get treated that way just because somebody's older. You don't give them a pass for treating you like that. We're all human, and so we all deserve to be treated with with dignity, with respect, and it's a two-way street. Again, just because somebody is older than you, you recognize deference and you give your just dues, you pay your respect and homage to your elders and all those beautiful euphemisms and things on how you can treat older people. But they know they've been here long enough that there was a time in their life that they demanded the respect that they now feel like they should have. So they shouldn't want you to feel shorted out of the ones you're building. You're building that respect, and you're trying to maintain your own standards of respect as you know it. But you lost your head a little bit because you went in on him. And what's up, Dion Day 38? You went in on the old man. So you lost it a little bit, which is okay. If that's how you felt like you needed to handle the situation. Again, I never pass judgment. I've never been to law school, so I don't own a gavel, so I don't pass judgment. Just like I've never been to school for being a counselor or a psychiatrist or a psychologist, but I come on here and give you back life that I've lived or vicariously through somebody else close enough to kind of sponge the game up, right? So I'm never telling you that you were right or wrong. I'm just telling you how, in an instance, if I were in your shoes, so I'm showing empathy towards you, how I would have handled it, right? So with that being said, you balance the respect versus self-respect, and you decided not to be feeling like trash that he made you feel like in that moment, right? But that's what we're talking about, the moment and the heat of the moment. What's up, Popeye Robinson in the building. What'd you say, Young Stitch? I be cussing just as freely as the elderly is more comfortable for me. I have one thing I like about older people. You know what I'm saying? You say, what's that one thing you like about older people, Young Stitch? Let us know what you're talking about right there, paper. And that's the thing. Like, we all have these things when it comes to older people. But then you got to look at it like, where does the older start? You know what I mean? Because I'm not a spring chicken anymore. So somebody that's 60 is low key, damn near my peer. Oh, you said they're very transparent. Okay, yes, beautiful. And that's good when you can speak freely amongst them and y'all okay with talking exactly how y'all talk about amongst each other. And it's the transparency that's involved in that. That way you can get that game and sponge it up from them the way you can comfortably without trying to decipher whether or not to speak your true mind and heart. I love that, Young Stitch. I appreciate that input. So like, the heat of the moment, you got to look at that, when someone disrespects you, like you felt like this person did, especially someone who think they can get away with it just because of, their privilege of being, whether it be age or race or anything else that they may feel like they can get away with it because their gender, whatever the case. It's easy to snap on somebody like that because they've given you an extra piece of fuel to say like, nah, you really ain't about to get away with that just because of this. You're really not getting away with that just because you think you can. That's an extra fuse to your firecracker, to mine at least. That's all I'm gonna say. Like that, just when somebody does something intentionally, just to like, that's like sunning me. That's like hoeing me. Like, and I'm really I'm coming back with fire. That's why my spirit animal is a dragon. You understand what I'm saying? Because I can get fly and I spit fire. You understand what I'm saying? That's why my spirit animal is a dragon, right? But with that fire, sometimes it's heating up the moment. Sometimes it's to burn your ass down because you got to back up off me. Like, I don't put my hands on women, but I will blaze them with my words, and I shouldn't do that either, but I'll do it. That's something I'm working on. I'm in therapy myself for it, but that's my fire. So again, I'm talking to myself when I'm talking about the respect versus self-respect, the heat of the moment type things. You have to evaluate these things as they come about to you. So I appreciate when people send in letters because they give me a chance to dissect them on how I would handle them and give myself some new perspective. If I never even thought about it, like, would I cuss an old person out just because they got jazzy with me? I don't know. It kind of depends. And again, I was raised, by older people, my grandparents and all that kind of stuff. I remember my mama, my mama, she old soul too. So I was raised by older people. So I know there's respect. You like that, Young Stitch? That's why I'm the dragon, baby. But I was taught to have respect, but I was also taught to have respect for myself. And that's what we talked about, So in the heat of the moment, the reaction that you gave was simply a human reaction. So again, you're asking the question, not so sorry. You know, you said you don't really feel bad and you're not losing sleep, but should you be? Should you be feeling bad? Should you lose some sleep? And again, it all depends on, it's all about the subjectivity of it. Steve Brad, what's up? What's up, Finny 8? What's up? It's all about how you dissect this and decide to utilize the heat of the moment and how you going to utilize that respect versus self-respect, right? But here's the thing. How you react has much to do about you as it does about them. You know, how you react to something has a lot to do with you and about you. You know, when you meet disrespect with disrespect, especially using that type of language, you know, you're letting them drag you down to their level. You know, if they say something, as you say, snarky to you, you know, so immediately all of us, we all, like, again, I'm not pointing the finger. When you point the finger, 3 of them point right back at you, me, myself, and I. Those are how I do these things, right? So we as people, as humans, when we do react in this way with that fire right back at them that's meant to burn them down and not to just warm them up, you know, when we spit back with that type of fire, we're allowing them to drag us to where we didn't feel comfortable at. We let them hold us down there. We let them quicksand us in a way. We allowed our response to be the quicksand that held us in a place where we didn't feel good in the beginning. We didn't like the way it made us feel. You know, you didn't like the way it made you feel when he said what he said to you. It may have made you feel like trash or feel little or less than, or however it was that you felt was a disrespectful statement in your direction. If I respond with more disrespect, then now I'm allowing them to bring me to where I didn't even want to be in the first place and a bear hug me and headlock me right there. You ever been in a headlock from somebody that's way bigger than you? You can't really lift them up. And, you know, because that burden on you right now is way bigger than you. You can't lift it up and suplex it because you're allowing it to keep you there because you're in it with it. So you're feeding it with that same disrespect. So in essence, you actually allowed him to win, regardless of if he felt small or anything after. You allowed him to take that round. You understand? Because you fell into his trap. You let him bait you, rope-a-dope you with his words. And then you allowed yourself to stoop down to the level that you did not enjoy and stay there and dwell there and thrive there because you said you let him have it. You cussed his ass out is what you said. It's what you said. That's what you said, Frank. That's what you said. Not so sorry. You know, so that's the thing you got to be cognizant of, right? We all have to be cognizant of the fact that when we allow somebody else let's allow somebody to bring us into their arena, now they got home court advantage. Like, have you ever seen the video online where it's a girl trying to fight a girl and it's another girl outside waiting and they thinking she gonna come outside, but she told the girl to come inside. Now she got her dog in there, the door locked. You know, she got she home court advantage. So now you allowed this man to have mental home court advantage over you because he brought you into his arena of disrespectfulness. And we all do it. We all do it. We all get that. We all respond that way sometimes. So the key is to try to minimize the amount of times that we do that. How do we do that? By thinking. Thinking first. Thinking, breathing before we speak. And we all say, oh, just count to 3. Sometimes that count to 3 is not that count to 3 is going to be count to 1. It's going to be 1, pew, and I'm going in. I'm going in. You know, and so that's where we fall off at. We fall off at that point when we count to 1 and just go straight in, you know? So that's what we got to look at. We got to look at this as a chance to kind of grow in an arena where we normally would not get practice. We normally wouldn't be able to, you know, spar somewhere if we automatically go into a fight when we get there. You know, and that's what you gotta kind of pay attention to, like how you moving yourself. Because you notice how I say when you point the finger, 3 fingers point back at you. So yeah, you may be pointing out putting people in your crosshairs, but you gotta. One thing I learned a long time ago: if you can see somebody, they can see you. So if I'm looking in the mirror and I can see you, if you get at the right angle, you can also see me. So now I got to play chess with you in a situation like this. I cannot allow you to drag me into where I didn't want to be. So not so sorry. You in moving forward, you cannot allow them to drag you into where you don't want to be, because now you're losing in that situation, that particular round, right? Because after that, it comes to the next level of where's the accountability with or without remorse. We talk about accountability all the time, being able to, take ownership for what it is that we do. Not try to pinpoint and point out what it is others are doing, but take accountability for what it is we do. And a lot of us, most if not all of us, struggle with this from time to time, because when it's, I call it accepting your check, like taking your chin check. How can you accept your check? That's taking accountability. That's what I mean when I say that, like accept your check. How do you take on accountability for what your contribution to this situation of angst or situation of discomfort is? But you got to do it with or without remorse. If you do it without remorse, now because what you say in your letter, you mentioned that you don't feel bad about it, and that, and to me that's okay. You don't have to feel bad about it, because you're cognizant that you feel a way about it. So that should let you know within yourself that you're not just as horrible as you think you are to whom you think you are. Like, it's not like you've thrown everything out the window that you learned from, like you say, you were taught by your elders to respect your elders. You haven't thrown all that out the window. It was a lapse in a moment of judgment to where you decided to say, you know what, I'm not taking this, and my stand is this. My fight back is this, but it's also important to check in with yourself and ask, why is that it? Why is this? Do you feel justified because you were standing up for yourself, or are you just brushing it off because you don't want to deal with the potential guilt? So that's the thing. That's where the accountability comes in, right? Accountability without remorse, because you don't have to feel bad about it, but accountability all the same. You're aware of it. You're cognizant of how you feel about it, right? So again, you ask yourself, do you feel justified because you were standing up for you? Really get in there and be like, damn, did that make me feel good because I stood up for myself? Or am I just going to be like, it ain't really nothing. It's not really anything. And that's to avoid actually feeling bad about what you did or feeling uncomfortable about what you did. That's when you pick up the remorse, because you're trying to brush it off, but it's there because you actually internally feel not okay with it. And that too is okay, because you want to find the answers, and you're understanding that there is something that's missing in what you feel, is something missing in how you reacted. There's something missing in what this person did to make you feel that way. We always, we talk about when we talk about therapy and, exercising your childhood demons, or, getting rid of the things that, that are traumas in your life, or addressing them, right? So maybe it's something deeper inside there. Maybe it was an old man or a teacher or something that pissed you off back in school back in the day, and it made you feel bad in front of the girl you like. And so he triggered that. That's where we have to, you dig deeper inside yourself, and you get your accountability when you start to dissect what it is that's got you feeling the way you feel. Find why that trigger was pulled. Find out what that trigger is. And the only way to do that is to be honest and sincere and open and candid with yourself. With you, the person in the mirror. People always throw the cliche out there. You got to look yourself in the mirror and really have that talk. You really do, though. And it's not talking to yourself. It's talking through your eyes. Look yourself in the eyes, same way I'm looking into this camera. Look into your eyes and say, blah, 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 blankety blank, question mark. And then turn around and respond. Looking yourself in the same eyeballs. And that's where accountability is intact. That's where it is. That's where it lives, right? There's no shame in acknowledging when you might have gone too far. Okay? Even if you felt justified in the moment. There is no shame in acknowledging and recognizing that you feel you might have gone too far. We're human. And again, right then in that moment, you may have felt like that was the perfect thing to say, and there was nothing else that you felt should have come out of your mouth or movements that should have been made by you as your person. You may have felt justified 100%, but it's about being accountable for yourself. You know, by doing the things we talked about, evaluating if this was a respect versus a self-respect stance. Looking at, what occurred in the heat of the moment. Taking accountability with or without remorse, but owning up and understanding which one is. Because when it all boils down, what is this? We're looking at the bigger picture, right? What is the bigger picture involved in all this? You want to dissect what's the bigger picture in every issue that may be plaguing you. You know, what you say, Ray Butler, you have to do a self-evaluation on yourself from time to time to be okay with the results of your self-evaluation. Yeah, you do. You got to be okay with what you see and who you are, except for the things you're not okay with. If you're not okay with them, work on them, but you got to acknowledge them. Once you evaluate yourself, a lot of us are afraid to evaluate ourselves because that means we have to face and accept the truth, the good, the bad, and the ugly. That's why those mirror conversations don't happen that often. And they in themselves can be therapeutic because you can say something out loud and see the reaction on your own face when you hear it. Those self-evaluation mirror conversations, man, those things can be lightning. Not like lightning and thunder. I mean like lightening, like they take the weight off of you sometimes. So as you looking in the mirror or the bigger picture of it all, will this incident matter in a week? That's what you got to look at. Will this matter a week from now? Or a month from now? Or a year from now? Probably not. It probably won't matter. But what will matter is how you carry yourself in the situations that follow, the situations that are associated with, and how you deal with the kind of energy that you put into the world. Y'all know I'm big on energy. Energy is my biggest thing. I love to talk about energy because it exchanges in the world. Like you can get energy from the television, like certain things coming through the TV, that energy that they spitting and spewing off jumps into you. If you watching game shows, you watching Family Feud, you're going to clapping, right? So that energy has in essence jumped to you. If you see a scary movie, you're going to jump. You're going to be suspenseful because that energy in itself has jumped to you, right? So as we look at the bigger picture, will this all matter in a week, in a month, in a year? Probably not. But will you think about this differently in a week, in a month, in a year, and decide on how you're going to move the next time accordingly based off how you felt about the energy that you produced in this moment? If you pride yourself on being someone that respects others, or even if they don't deserve it, but you still respect them in some facet of the word, right? Or then maybe you went too far. If that's the person you want to calculate and count yourself as being. You want to count yourself as being somebody who always respect others, then in that instance, not so sorry, then you are, you did go too far. But if you're someone who knows how to balance the difference between the two, understanding will this matter in a week, in a month, in a year? Also, how will this matter to me tomorrow? How will I be different in a week, in a month, in a year? Then you might be okay. Because on that hand, you feel like you were defending yourself in that way. And that was the necessary way to maintain your own self-respect. It's okay with feeling how you feel about your feelings, but recognize and acknowledge them. Take the accountability on how you contributed to your feelings yourself. You know, a lot of us be like, well, you made me feel a certain way, but how did I allow you? You know, if you made me feel a certain way, what did I do to allow that to occur? Did I, promote it, or did I sweep it under the rug before when it was slightly occurring and it was heading towards this, or it was building towards this? You know, the bigger picture and accountability. How did I contribute to this bigger picture? What was my move? And if I did it another way, would it have been drawn a different image? You know? If you feel that defending yourself in that way was necessary, then stand on that. But be aware that it might not always be the best approach, depending on the situation. Again, you got to evaluate each situation separately. But the only way you can do that, I believe, is by being honest and accountable for how you feel and for how you handle your feelings. You know, all of us don't handle our feelings well. Some may feel like, what's going on, Mrs. Contreras? Some of us may feel like we don't have feelings, but always feeling something. That might be me. Because I really don't, when I say I don't have feelings, I don't dwell on the feeling itself. You know, so I know I've got feelings. I'm human. I'm not an android. You know, I don't bleed white milk out my skin. You know what I mean? Like I'm human, but I try my best not to dwell on the feelings, so that can cause me to, as I'm doing self-evaluation and taking on accountability, that in itself can cause me to say I may be looked upon as being cold-hearted in those situations. But again, I'm just protecting my own heart in those situations. So 6 in one hand, half a dozen in the other. Just because I'm doing something to help myself doesn't mean I'm not doing something to hurt someone else. And if I don't dwell in that, the fact that I can't always have, eat my cake and still have it too, then I think mentally that allows me the capability to balance between both worlds, about the empathy side of things and the self-preservation side of things. Because like I say, on one side, if I were this person and I felt like I was one who always carried myself with the utmost respect and respecting my elders, then I may feel like I went too far in this situation by cussing out an old person. But on the other hand, if I felt like defending myself was my justifiable way to maintain my self-respect, then I can be okay with that situation. But I must be aware that each way will not always be the correct way to approach this situation. So to have that balance is the key, because if you don't have a balance, then you're stuck. Like I said before, if you allow somebody to quicksand you, if you allow the situation to be the quicksand and them to headlock you in that quicksand, then you're stuck in it. You're dwelling in it, and you have no choice but to, in some way, either relax until you can either drop all the way down or find a way out, or you're going to try to fight your way against, fight against the current, which is putting way too much weight and mileage on you mentally, because you decide to do it a way that doesn't coincide with how you really move. That's like trying to drive a car sideways when the wheels go forward. You're not on a round ball. You got tires that's going to go straight ahead, but you want to go this way right now. You want to drive straight towards the passenger door. That's what a lot of us do whenever we try to force something or force ourselves to feel a certain way about how we react or respond or reply to other people. We're not always going to have the perfect response or reaction. But what we talked about here today was being able to be cognizant of what those responses are in the heat of the moment, being able to understand whether I'm showing respect for others or respect for self, Also taking accountability with remorse or without remorse, but I have to own it either way. I can't be straddling the fence, because what I say before, when you straddle the fence, you playing nutcracker. You can't be on both sides of the fence and think you sprinting full speed ahead. Nah, it doesn't work. If you got one leg on this side, one leg on the other side, it's not a comfortable place. So you either got to be all the way in or all the way out. You know? But that helps us all in the long run when we know what the bigger picture is, based off us knowing how we fit into the bigger picture. Would you say Mrs. Contreras? Some people like to poke those triggers to get a reaction from you. Oh yeah, and I'm not saying this older gentleman is 100% in the clear. You know, we didn't really get his side of things. We just got not so sorry side of things in the letter, where he said he's not losing any sleep, but he's just wondering if he should be, because he was raised to respect his elders. You know, like I said before, my elders, you know, an elder to me may not really be an elder. Somebody else may not really be an elder to me. You know, just because they 60 years old, that may be a teenager's elder, but that's my peer. Shoot. That's my peer. Even though it's a whole nother generation, but I think that's my peer. If you are under 20 years older than me, you can get cussed out just as easy. And I'm not gonna feel bad, not one iota, not one little bit. If you under 20 years older than me, best believe you can get these words. Give a damn who you are, you know. But that's me, myself personally. Me, myself personally, you know. But then after that, you got to think, okay, now I've got the bigger picture. I know how I fit in it. I've taken accountability. You know, I've looked at how this situation was respect versus self-respect. Now, how do I move forward? You know, because none of us want to stay stagnant in any uncomfortable place, right? How do we move forward? You know, here's my advice. Not so sorry. Don't beat yourself up over this. What's done already is done. Like, you can't just be, oh, man, I shouldn't have, oh, what should I feel? Whether you're feeling that way or not. This is to anybody who may be feeling, you know, in limbo about how they should feel about a situation. Whatever is done is already done. So beating yourself up about it, regardless of whether you cool with it or not, is not going to help the situation. Would you say, Mr. Contreras, some elders like to play dumb or victim to get away with some stuff? Oh, you know it. That's what I said earlier. I said, now this person sound like, you know, if you think about it, if somebody does something just for the sake of the fact they think they can get away with it, oh, you really about to get it from me then. Because now you're trying to manipulate me and use privilege. Elder privilege. Nah. Stop that. I don't play that. You know, but how do you move forward? By not beating yourself up over it. What's done is done. Right? Take a moment to reflect, relax, relate, release, you know, however you do it, roll a doobie, whatever you need to do. You know, just next time if someone throws shade your way, think about this time and think about how you wanted to respond this time, or think about what the situation calls for in that at that time, because they may not deserve the same, you know, contemplation that you got going on with this particular elder person. They may have started by cussing you out, so you just responded accordingly. But again, if you didn't feel comfortable in that position, in that place, you are allowing them to keep you there once you go down to their level. If you stoop down to their level, at that point, now they got you in the headlock in the quicksand. Now you're really fighting to figure a way out of where you are, because you didn't feel good about it the first time. You know? The power in saying nothing and staying calm sometimes speaks volumes. People be wondering, like, what's wrong? No, I'm not going to say a word, because I know the moment I speak, it may be bow. Word after word after word after word after word. Speed bag. But if I don't say anything, what's up, I am he the one. If I don't say anything to them sometimes and give silence, your silence can be deafening. People don't realize that silence can be deafening. You know what I mean? Like, so loud that I know it's an oxymoron, deafening silence or silent scream, you know? But that's a truism. Like, if you sit silently, it can say more words than you ever wanted to spew out of your mouth. just based off how you move and the reactions you take, it allows you to put yourself in a better chess position, a better wrestling position, however you want to look at it, to set up for success. You know? And it's not just for the moment, it's for the long run. Like I said, it's power in staying calm. Sometimes less can say more. You know, that you ever heard the phrase, less means more? That's not just with cologne. That's with life, too. Less means more sometimes. If you give them less, they want you more. At least that's how it used to be. Girls that wasn't giving it up, everybody wanted them. They were giving less and getting more. It's the same in these situations. Don't give into them. Don't give into they don't bite the bait. Some people say things just to bait you, just to put you in a situation where they jealous self can be laughing at you from your outcome. Whether that's you get locked up for something, or you get reprimanded for something, or, you know, people start to turn against you for something, then they're winning. But if you sit silently to the point where it's almost deafening, oh man, there's no question of whether or not you came out in the better in this situation. I don't like to say winning and losing because everybody want to turn it to a game and a competition. It is about being, you know, in a more advantageous position. Would you say that's true? But it's okay to cuss anybody out if disrespect. You got exactly if they disrespectful, you done it yourself. And hey, you know what I mean? And they do it. They get disrespectful with you a lot. Like these older people, oh man, they talk jazzy. Oh, they get to talking out the side of their teeth, boy. I tell you. Oh man, and they think it's okay, and you won't clap back. So I'm thinking that Not So Serious is somewhere around like my age or a little bit younger, and somebody about 70 something, you know, somebody who we would consider as an elder like that, then tried to say something funky to him. Oh man, listen, and that's when the ish hit the fan because I know me. Just because they older, they gonna do it just because they older. That's their elder privilege. They want to do it just because they older, or just because they this, or just because they that. Nah, just because you nothing, I'm about to give you to you even more just because you think that. That's when I'm really gonna give you the business. But that's me, myself, personally, right? You know. So but again, you want to, after you get and develop that bigger picture, you want to find a way to move forward. You want to get beyond all this. How though? How do you get beyond it when it's still, you know, ringing in your head the fact that, you know, damn, I really cussed that old person out? By just simply admitting up to how you are accountable for whatever your feelings are. You know, a lot of times we'll say how, you know, want people to take accountable for how they made us feel, but we lack the ability or lack the desire to hold ourselves accountable for what we allow to occur to us to make us feel certain ways. And that's what you allowed that man to, you know, give you the blues, you know, verbally, or talk something snarky to you when I know, like, I remember the movie Malcolm X, right? With Denzel Washington and Spike Lee. And him and Spike Lee was walking and talking, and Spike asked him, like, why you don't cuss? And he said, a man curses because he doesn't have the words to say. You know? So with that, in that moment, you didn't have the words to say to this person, you know, to where it's like, because when you break somebody down without cussing them out, they feel so minute. They under an ant's belly. That's how little people feel. They can limbo under an ant's belly when you give it to them without saying a single cuss word. Oh man, people feel so small. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids small, like little. What's up, Iron? You know what I mean? Like, it's all about finding that balance. Like I said before, you know, respect versus self-respect. You know, respect for others versus respect for yourself. You know? So as we recap a little bit, to go back over, you ask the question, should you feel bad about cussing out this old man after he said something funky to you? He said something jazzy to you, and you don't feel bad about it, but you're wondering if you should. And I talked to you about the fact that, hey, man, it's all about evaluating whether you were respecting your elder or you were respecting yourself. Sometimes those lines don't mesh well because the elder think they can get away with stuff, but you think in your heart that this is being disrespectful to you, and you got to stand on it. As a man, as a woman, as even as whatever you may consider yourself, however you identify. He, she, they, whoever it is, you know what I mean? Like, you got to stand on what your feelings are, what you believe in. Stand on it. But again, you got to recognize the fact that it may be a heat of the moment thing. It may be something that's coming to you right now, and you feel like, damn, I could have handled that a little bit differently. Because just because you felt justified in the moment doesn't mean that it's always going to be the right way to handle things. Right? Because what that says, when you allow the heat of the moment to sweep you up, to take you under, get undertow you, that means what you've actually done there is allow them to bring you down to the level where they put you and you didn't feel good about it. And in that, you have to take the accountability for that. With or without remorse, like I said before. You got to, if it's remorseful for it, like, dang, maybe I went too far. If you're not remorseful for it, like, nope, I really feel okay with how I feel. But take accountability for how you feel. Own it. Don't just sweep it under the rug hoping it'll go away, because it's not going to. You have to address it. You have to see it through. So after you do that, you gotta acknowledge the fact that either you feel shame in going as far as you did, or you don't feel any shame in going as far as you did. That just says a lot about yourself, allowing yourself to see you for who you are. And that way you can get to the next point I made about finding out what that bigger picture is. What do you consider that bigger picture? Will it matter in a week, a month, or a year to you or to them? Probably not. Or maybe so. You may have cussed that man out to the point where every 4th of the month, he thinking about you. Like, oh, it's the anniversary of getting cussed out. Or every year, you know what I mean? You never know. They got an anniversary day for everything. It's, National No-Handle Mug Day type. There's so many different days. So maybe that's National, I got scared and cussed out by this other man day. Will it matter a week, a month, or a year from now? No harm, no foul. Nobody, got hurt. Maybe some feelings. But nothing physical, according to your letter. And then how do you move forward? How do you go about doing that? Right? By not beating yourself up. Either way, like, dang, I should have been more respectful. Or, dang, I should have really went in on his ass. Like, don't beat yourself up, because now you're exacerbating the issue to the point where it's disturbing your peace. And again, you're allowing yourself to go back to where you were with this older man, where he disturbed your peace. See what I'm saying? Like, the parallels turn into perpendiculars out of nowhere. They make a turn, and now y'all crashing. And it's the same thing crashing into itself, because we as individuals who are involved in it normally don't take the proper accountability to allow us to move forward and see the bigger picture on how it's affecting us. Okay? So I want to thank you for writing in to us, Not So Sorry, and I like to thank everybody who writes their letters in, because without y'all, I really wouldn't have nothing to talk about on here, right? No. But I just want to let you know I appreciate you for writing in, and I hope you found some clarity. I saw you tune in over here on Facebook. You had said something over there. I hope you found your clarity or some sort of clarity in this. No matter how you feel about it, be okay with feeling. Uh-oh, I got a caller calling in. Beautiful. We got one more time for a call on line. Holla at the homie, you on the line with 360.
What's going on? My brother? How you doing?
Who's this?
Rod. This is Rob. This is your boy.
Oh, what's going on, Shaq? What's going on, bro?
We
Oh, do me a favor. Turn your radio down for me in the back. I'm getting feedback.
Okay, let me turn it down because I'm excited.
No, I got you.
Okay, we all the way down. What's going on, brother? I just listen. Let me tell you something. I'm over here in Long Beach, listening to you, brother. We broadcasting all the way from Long Beach.
That's what's
So,
up.
you know, brother, you are in the zone right now.
Okay.
You are in the zone.
Thank you, man.
And you are preaching facts. You are preaching facts. I'm here. I'm trying to tear away from what you're saying, but I keep getting drawn in because I don't know if they're listening to you, brother, but you are preaching and you are telling all facts, and it sounds all good, brother. This is church right now. You know we're in church
Much appreciated, brother. Much appreciated, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Like I said, I'm tuning in every week when you on, listening closely, letting my friends know what's going on, brother. You spreading the gospel out here.
That's what's up, man. Keep spreading the word for me. I don't care if you're in the barbershop, in the backyard, man. Put it on for some people. Let them hear it for them one time. That's appreciated, man.
Absolutely. So I'm just letting you know, just tapping in right now and letting you know that you're doing a great job, brother. We listening and over here in Long Beach, and we soaking it up, and yeah, bro. We locked in.
All the way from the LBC. Much appreciated. Salute, soldier. I appreciate you, and I hope you tune in and tap in next week too.
I'm already on, but I already called in. I'm taking the day off.
That's what's up, man. I'm going to holler at you in a minute, man. Good luck. Appreciate the brother, call, man.
Yep. Be safe, man.
Absolutely.
We doing it. We got you.
Thank you, brother.
On
appreciate it, man. Respect.
Yes,
yeah, man. That bright one day. I love to hear when people tune in and tap in. No matter where you tune in and tap in from, you can always hit us up at 702-551-5261, or you can tap in right here live with me on Instagram or on Facebook. It's always a possibility. So again, to Not So Sorry, I hope you got some clarity. To anybody else out there who may have been asking these questions, is it okay to kind of go in on older people? If you're worrying about self-respect versus respect, make sure you take accountability for those things and realize how you feel and be okay with feeling how you feel. All right. So until next time, y'all always be good to each other, but especially be good to yourself. I'm 360 the Poet. I'm going to holler at y'all in a minute.